Subramani, I have done a post earlier saying that what is Subramani, but today I will tell you something far more generic. The blogging itself is not a great idea to make a career for most of us. There are more than 100 million bloggers in the world, and most of them, on an average, earn about $2-3 a day. That's it. That is the average. Some people obviously can make a career out of blogging, but those are the exceptions, and I'll come to the reasons why. So, do I make money on subramani.com? If I do, also, you have to understand certain things. My blog is about 13 years old, and I had established myself anyway as a blogger and as a media person, as a lecturer. So I had some fan following from there. So therefore I got Google ads, and therefore I made money. But understand, I'm not trying to make any money out of any sponsorship or paid shows and things like that. So I don't have a sponsor sitting here. I don't have ads of my choice. Google ads, yes, and there is no way how I can promise that people are watching the Google ads or not watching the Google ads. That is for Google ads to decide. But let me tell you that if you are going to blog for money, what all do you have to worry about? You have to worry about consistent traffic. It is not that people will come to you regularly and stay addicted. You can shout every day that please subscribe, ring the bell, and you will get the views. You can keep doing that, but people will not subscribe, people will not click on the bell unless they are considerably assured that they are going to get value for money. You will not give up your time. I'm very happy that I have about 22,000 subscribers or 23,000 subscribers who come regularly and watch. Every day I see at least 5,000-6,000 people of returning viewers who watch, and every day I add 300-400 people who come and have a look at it. Maybe 50 of them will get converted. Yes, my number of subscribers will go up, but my number of subscribers going up does not help me in any way as long as I don't take money from paid posts. If I were to do a paid post for mutual funds and say invest in this mutual fund, it's a good mutual fund, there is an NFO coming, right? Then I could make some money. I mean, a reasonable amount of money. I wouldn't say some money. I was offered 1 lakh of rupees for doing one episode, one blog post, and one mention on Twitter. So if I get 1 lakh for that, it's not too bad. I'm assured that I can get 4-5 such assignments every week, so which means I can make about 20 lakhs a month. That is not small amount of money, but that I somehow feel will make me lose my credibility, so I am not doing it. But yeah, inconsistent traffic, and then there is also the worry that one winner will take everything. So if there is a very good blogger, he will end up with all the revenues. Unfortunately, in the financial BFSI space, you will not know the difference between a person who is a pure blogger and a person who is selling. 99% of blogs and blogs are there for selling. They are here to build a community to which they will sell, if not today, after 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, 10 years, 12 years, it doesn't matter. I do not know of any pure blogging sites which are just blogging for blogging's sake. They all have a vested interest in selling something to you today. Like for example, I have nothing to sell. That is my problem. It is not an ethical or a moral issue. I have not created any product to sell. The only product I have to sell is lectures, which largely now I do only for corporates, and if I were to do for individuals, it will be through a charitable organization called Saathi Haath Badhana, SHB. Go and Google for Saathi Haath Badhana. It's an organization based in Pune. Sorry, I am digressing. So what else do you have to worry about? You have to worry about unreliable monetization. You don't understand how monetization work. You do a video that collects a lot of hits but does not collect revenue. You do something which collects very few hits but collects a lot of revenue. The question is, who is clicking on the ads and from where? So if I have 10 readers, bloggers who are clicking it from Saudi Arabia, and 10 clicking from Denmark, and say 10 from Sweden, obviously my returns will be much higher than if those 30 people who clicked were in India or were in countries which is poorer than India. Then obviously I would make less money. So understanding the monetization, how it happens, is not going to be very easy. Of course, if you think that earning $1 or $2 a day is not bad, because you just have to sit and talk in front of the phone and maybe smile a little, say hello, please, thank you, welcome, please subscribe, please click on the bell icon, right? If you think that is all, try creating content. It is not easy. It is much easier for me to earn $10 or $20 in half an hour by teaching or by doing sales training rather than by creating vlogs. I enjoy doing it. That's a completely different thing. I will never ever take money and do a post. That is very clear, right? So these things are very clear. I might put up an ad tomorrow if the advertiser says he will give so much money to charity. I'm perfectly all right. I will put ads. I don't have a problem. I don't mind putting an XYZ asset management company board or a bank board. Perfectly all right. It does not bother me. But as of now, I don't have any such models. So, but given the minimum wage in India is slightly higher than that, or but perhaps is equal to that, why do people blog? Why do I blog? If I'm cribbing to you that I don't make any money, that I don't, then why am I blogging? I think largely many of us like to accept the fact that many people need to learn about the things that we know. I know I've learned a lot in the last, say, 40 years of my career, and if you include my academics, then maybe 45 years of my life. Whatever I've learned, there is absolutely no reason why I should not be sharing with you. So even if you see my posts, I say why I do not invest in NPS. I am not saying you should or you shouldn't. I am a direct equities guy, but I don't do F&O. Right, but I used to do tons of F&O as a broker, and I made money in every bloody deal, right? So as a broker, it makes sense to do F&O or Badla, as it used to be called. It was always attractive to do that, there is no doubt. But is it attractive to me as an investor is a call that I have to take, right? So I just say this is what I do. It is for you, sorry. It is for you to read, understand, accept, and then decide what you want to do. You cannot copy what I am doing. You cannot copy my blog and try to become an investor, because I keep saying, oh, I bought this, I sold this, right? To me, it doesn't matter when I tell you. If I have told you after the sale, then it is completely useless information for you. So basically, many bloggers would be better off if they were to just ask their bosses for a raise in salary, or doing another part-time job, or getting rid of some old saman in the house, right? Pay off your debts and start managing your investments more sensibly. Maybe even investing in direct equity if you have never invested, or any other thing. All these things will definitely give you much better results than what a blog can give you. A blog is not economically justified at all, but it is good fun. It allows me to reach out to you, tell you what I think I should tell you that for a good regulator to understand that unless the weakest link is well compensated, the client will not get a good deal. This is something which for the regulators to understand. If the regulator looks at Sachin Tendulkar and says, oh, all cricketers are overpaid, let us put a super wealth tax on cricketers, it is going to yield nothing, because only 10 cricketers would come within the ambit of what the regulator or the taxation authority wanted, right? So understand all this. read many places, read a lot of blogs, vlogs, watch, do everything. But if you do not understand how the vlogger is making money, you have to be a little wary. For example, I have done a few videos on a place called Jibi. It is just that I went there and I liked the place and I did the videos and I put it up on my blog, and about 4,000 people have watched. Far more importantly, people have already gone there saying that they saw this video. Now that is an amazingly quick thing. Could I have taken money from him? Maybe, perhaps. Could I have put it on could I have just told you that this is sponsored by so and so? Maybe. But also understand that there are many people trying to make their career with a blog. So they have to be compensated very differently. So if they were running like a Curly Tales, if they were running a blog or a website based on which they had to invest. So Curly Tales would have to invest on a makeup person, on a travel person, on a videographer to go along with the owner, that is Kamya. Right, there has got to be investments. These investments can come only out of earning. So there has to be a model. That model can't be just Google Ads. I have to develop a model if I want to make money out of blogging, but blogging per se will not make money unless you do some of these things where you have to be comfortable doing it. I am not comfortable doing it, so I will not do it. But if you are comfortable doing it, see how it works, see how a career in blogging can be made. Kamya is a fantastic proof that Curly Tales is a great success. Talk to somebody like that and then start. Looking at me and copying me makes no sense, because I am not here to earn revenue out of the blog. The blog is just there more for fun rather than for earning money. You need to know all these differences. Thank you.